Starting the stream. And this is the start of our playthrough of Horizon Zero Dawn. Good to know that the audio works. That means we can basically start now. So, short summary, what have we done so far? We've seen the opening cinematic where we found out who Aloy is. Or, well, we found out that Aloy is an outcast. And we've played the tutorial where Aloy is a little kid and fell into a hole and got a wonderful little decorative head piece, this little triangle, the focus, with which she can look at stuff and analyze it. And yep, that's basically it. Let's get rid of this. And our current mission objective is to find Rost, which is Daddy Dearest. So, let's look around. Did I ever check what is back there? Oh, nothing. Okay. That's interesting. Ah, here is the gate. Okay. Can't go there. Okay. I just, sorry for just, like, trying to walk somewhere. I remembered from... So this is, a fresh start, so if you, are curious, then this is pretty early on. You don't really get spoiled yet.
He said we'd go hunting this morning. Why isn't he here? Where's he gone to?
Because you're first only going to find out the premise and a few things. Because I've already played the ending basically, but I didn't stream the beginning at the time, so I thought I'd just try to replay what I did at the beginning, so I can
white as bone.
Put them together and have a complete set of VODs. Yeah, so if you just want to find out if this game is for you, that might be a good start. And you can always come back after you've seen it a little and decided to play it. If you do, you can always play it and then come back and watch the rest of the VODs if you're curious how my playthrough went.
What's he doing up there?
So, I guess we found Daddy.
He's just standing there. What's going on with him?
Did we ever get taught how to climb yet? I don't think there's an actual tutorial. Maybe there was first time I played it and it doesn't show it again.
Aloy, you're here.
Did you want to be alone?
No. We must speak. I've been thinking about your training, Aloy. You've learned to hunt, learned to survive. But I fear there's a lesson I failed to teach you. Would you learn it now?
Of course. I'll always learn what you have to teach.
There has been some trouble recently. It affords an opportunity to learn this lesson, but it will be dangerous. You must come prepared, or you will die. Descend into the Embrace and hunt until you have gathered the parts for fire arrows.
Fire arrows? What kind of trouble are we talking about?
Once you have the parts, you will meet me there, at the gate beyond the village of Mother's Heart.
The North Gate? At the edge of the Embrace?
Yes. Now be on your way.
Is something else bothering you?
No, I'm fine.
Are you worrying about what happens after the proving?
What happens is clear. You will be accepted as one of the tribe, and I will still be an outcast. To be shunned.
Rost, even if the tribe accepts me, I won't...
There is much to do, Aloy. We will discuss this later.
Okay. Anything else you want me to do while I'm down in the Embrace?
Odd Grata might be out of food by now. You could hunt a week's worth of meat for her, if you find the time.
Wouldn't mind if she'd say thanks just once.
Grata follows the law. Her science towards us is honorable, not an insult.
If you say so. I'll go gather the parts, but I'm also going to pay Karst a visit.
Aloy, that man breaks the law every time he speaks to you.
And I'm glad he does. I want to buy a tripcaster, and no other trader will sell to outcasts.
Stock it with ammunition, then. You'll find use for that weapon tonight.
That sounds ominous. All right. See you at the North Gate.
This is one of the nice things about how they've structured this game. So basically, you're through the tutorial, you know, you've learned the basics, but they're still building up the game, which I really like. You know, they're still adding new weapons every now and then, and other, you know, like mechanisms and controls and things. For one thing, I don't think we've been taught climbing yet. But, I mean, they've introduced it a little bit by giving you a spot here that you had to figure out how to get up there. Like, I had a moment where I went around looking for, okay, where's the way up or whatever. And then I saw this yellow thing and thought, okay, maybe, you know, I can jump to reach it or something, and it worked. And so this here is a spot where I also was a bit confused then what to do. And in the end, you know, like I just tried it out and jumped here and but if I had to pick a point that is probably the least well covered in the tutorial, I would say that is it.
Something's
You know,
really wrong
because
with him. If
you
he
might
thinks I'm going to abandon him, he's wrong.
If he thinks I'm going to abandon him, he's wrong. Okay, let's open the map. And this is nice. So this valley is where we, in the last part, did our found out how to what is it called? Yeah, just learned how to hunt. Okay, so we want to talk to Odd Grata, and before that, oh sorry, and before that, we want to hunt for blaze and shards that we need for the fire arrows. We also want to talk to Karst to get a tripcaster. Okay. What else did I want to do? Oh yeah, can I modify something yet? I don't have modifications yet, okay. But I can spend 3 skill points. Silent Strike, Hunter Reflexes, Silent Drop, Concentration, Precision, Local, Healer, Gatherer. These Traveler skills are from the expansion. So if you just buy the base game for some weird reason, then you don't have those yet. I think this is the first skill. Oh, I have several points actually. Strike from above to silently drop down. Okay. Alrighty then. So we've arrived here. Let's keep going then. Oh, and collect stuff. Oh, and one thing. Let's see. Carry capacity. Satchel outfit, satchel resources, satchel modifications, satchel hunter bow quiver. Created job, so we want richwood, blaze, and metal shards. So let's just create the jobs for these quickly. This is the create jobs button in the lower right. This just means that you can upgrade like the different like yeah, you just get more carry capacity and things like that. And it creates missions for that. So pity this feature would be more useful if you could just say, you know, like show me the current mission and any stuff I have to collect. But this will do, I guess. Oh, and given... So those are ruins. So we should probably try if we can go. there. Discover a
Nice.
campfire by getting near it, which
My
unlocks...
whole life I've never gone beyond this valley. That'll change after the proving. 2 days. 2 days until I get answers. 2 days and I'll know who she was. And why I was cast out at birth. As if there could be an excuse for that. Alright. Time to gather the parts for some fire arrows. I should find a herd.
Yeah, I like that, okay, that was just a tutorial. But, I like that, you know, Aloy is this driven and, you know, goes to make, once, you know, does all of this to find out who she is. I mean, it's not unsurprising, you know, if you don't know who your parents are and you have a choice. I mean, most people who are orphans or who are adopted or whatever, who didn't know their parents, have a point in their life where they try to find out. It's some even, you know, if you don't get a solution, they even, you know, like, it's something that, you know, drives them their entire life. It totally makes sense. Which in general is nice about this game, that a lot of it is, you know, is very realistic in that way.
Mother's heart. 2 more days, then I'll know what it's like in there. It's so many people crammed into one place. I guess no one ever gets lonely in there.
It's also, like, I love the writing here, that they decide to tell her story like that. You know, that she... And you know, like, that as an outcast she's kind of lonely and she's kind of living a rural existence, and this is a city. And that, you know, is something she's never experienced, and that they show it in that way, that she goes like, that many people. And of course this game is still awesomely pretty. Mountains, and you have these cairns, and you have the city. Which, you know, as most of us are city people these days, like, even the smaller villages usually are more complicated than this. Okay, so if we went down there, we could see Odd Grata and this thing, and here we can hunt for blaze and shards. Alrighty then. I think we can go down there. There's a watcher. Okay, let me just have a quick look here at... What do we need? Okay, it's just... mostly just they're telling us to get a bunch of resources, and some of them come from shooting watchers or whatever. there. Go on the other side. I don't really want to fight 3 of them at the same time. There's not much cover here. There's cover up there. There's a bit of cover here. I like how the plants basically have Aloy's hair color. Or more likely,
No turning back.
okay, one shot, good work. Oh. That was, you can tell I've had a bit of practice playing the game now, because originally that was much more, I was much worse the first time I tried this. Okay, so where are we mission objective wise? 5 of 15 metal shards, so for the upgrade, okay. The main quest, we need Blaze from Striders, okay. Otherwise, we still need a whole lot of wood and metal shards, okay. Just realizing, I think I should be good. What is this spot? I don't remember that. Actually, okay. Yeah, I took a different turn the first time. Let's just run back and take the other turn, I think. Because I don't think I went across the bridge the first time. And I think we'll get here later anyway. And this way. I think we'll be more likely to encounter more. Cross a tiny river, which is nice. Oh, I could probably gone across here. Oops, okay. Nice plants for cover. I don't know, you can probably not hear the difference here on stream, but the PlayStation controller has a little speaker built in, and when I turn on the focus, that actually plays for me this whoosh sound that it does in the controller. I'm not even sure if it plays the sound in the headset proper. Which is actually quite cool. Because it's yeah, just because it's a good effect, you know, kind of like it makes you feel more immediately connected to
Rain.
what's going on.
Oh well, I'm mostly waterproof.
I also like that Aloy calls herself mostly waterproof. Okay, I'm surprised that I got this second one. The later ones kind of seem to be... It's almost as if it gives me a bonus when it sees that I've got the first one. Okay, so I've got a bunch more metal shards and lenses and stuff. That looks good. And again, if this looks easy to you, I didn't do it that well the first time. It's just because I've now got a couple hours in the game, but the game is really... The curve ramps up nicely, so this will be a bit more of a challenge to you at the start, is my guess, no matter like what difficulty you pick. Like I'm playing this on the second difficulty, which is easy. I'm not like on normal or hard or anything, so like if you look here, under settings, you can actually switch the difficulty if you wanted to right now. So, you know, there's normal, hard, very hard, ultra hard, and the only easier way is story, which I would usually play, but in this case I actually found story to be just a little bit too easy, and so by switching to easy, I still get my, you know, story-focused play and don't have to work too hard at all the game mechanics, but it feels like a little bit of a challenge, the gameplay, and not just like a chore that you have to get through every time, which is always the compromise with difficulties, and those this number of difficulty levels is actually pretty nice. Like I like the spread that they've chosen. Yeah. So if you already have experience with the PlayStation, keep in mind this is basically my first PlayStation game that I've ever played.
Keep things quiet.
Okay. This was a really good game to start on because it teaches you so many basics, and like it's a good tutorial for stealth games. It's a good, you know, it's an amazing game and an interesting story to keep you, even when it gets too difficult, even should it get too difficult at times. You know, I
need your
never...
help.
And it's also
Please.
a good,
A word?
you know, and it also like the
I'm injured.
movement controls
I need
also
your help.
feel really nice. I've had much less problems
I need
than
to speak to you.
with other games that I tried to start with.
Would you not help me?
Loot first, friends later.
Please.
Basic rule.
No one else will help me. Please.
Not available. I'm not out of ideas.
Forgot
Would you not help me?
So, let's loot this one.
Please. A word?
I was way more panicked the first couple times of a watcher. Which, you
I
know,
need
is
to
normal.
speak to
Like,
you.
first you're still learning the game.
You want to talk to an outcast?
I'm desperate for help. Whatever the consequences.
What's the problem then? Trouble with your leg?
Forget about me. It's my daughter, Arana. She's in danger. She went after a scrapper near Mother's cradle, and I fear for her life. I can't even stand up, let alone go after her. Will you help me find her?
You know the matriarchs might cast you out for speaking to me, don't you?
I don't care. I tried looking for her myself, and my leg gave out. Just find her. I'll accept any punishment if it means she's safe.
Why would your daughter hunt a scrapper on her own?
It's my fault. I went after it first, and it tore up my leg. I barely got away, and I left a spear impaled in the machine. That spear was made by Adina, my mate, who died last year. It means everything to Arana. She went after the scrapper to get it back.
You said Arana went to Mother's cradle?
Yes, southeast of here. I forbid her from going, but ever since her mother died, she's become impossible. Damn it, look at me. A widower, now a cripple. Father that can't find his daughter. Please, help me set things right.
I'll do what I can to help your daughter.
Make sure she's all right. I'm begging you.
Okay, so we've got a new side quest. I also like these side quests. There are various points in the game where some of the side quests you do, well, you get reminded that you did them. There's no real large story consequences as far as I've seen. But, they still let you, like remind you, okay, this is the decision you make, and you see like a slightly different, like if you don't do a side quest, you don't get, can I shoot that? Yeah. That's something I didn't do on my first playthrough, admittedly, but, in retrospect, there's probably a good approach in this game, is to collect what you can at the start. Okay, so somewhere. Oh, there's a boar somewhere. Let's collect what we shot. Yeah, anyway, these side quests are really, they're small things that might happen, and they kind of cement Aloy's reputation. We should probably sneak here. And you see, like, I'm not really, you don't really have to be that strategic at this point in the game. That you they're giving you fairly easy enemies, but of course, since you're starting out, it still helps to be strategic, because you're still practicing and you will make mistakes likely. And of course you want to be sneaky here. So we need blaze from these guys. We also don't want to be caught. Watchers.
Not this time.
Okay. Ooh. That was close. Okay, and again, you got the
Just
question
nobody
mark.
business.
Oh, there's another one. You don't really have the arrows, the better ones yet. You have the simple arrows, so that's what makes most of this a little more difficult as well. Like you pretty early on. Oh well, you will soon, not early on, but like they
That
build
will
up
do
the
it.
entire game, like most games do it. You know, and you know, like the weapons get better, but the enemies get better as well. So it's good that they teach you with these enemies where screwing up is not quite as bad yet. They teach you the basics, and then you can always go and I'm not here. You know, they teach you like how to hunt and things like that, but you can still get away from these, and these are more scared animals, and later you have to put a lot more work in.
That's got their attention.
I think someone got scared. Oh, you see, like it already attacked me, but it's not that hard. Oops, I should craft new ammo. Whoops. Okay, yeah, and so if they notice that you're attacking them, then they will eventually attack you. Of course. So you kind of don't want to... Great, now it's raining. There's someone over there who noticed us. It's another strider, okay. That's just a boar. Oh, I took a little bit of damage. here. I think it's approaching. Yes.
Down you go! Helpful.
I ran back up front here. Okay, so let's see if we can get the last one here. There seems to be one more. Okay. Okay. Good. I've collected a whole bunch of blaze. Sounds good. Okay, hold L1 to open the weapon wheel. Select the fire arrows using right and press and hold X to quick craft and fire arrow pack. Yeah, it's basically the same thing we did for the regular arrows. Okay, and now let's see if we can upgrade anything yet. Oh, we can upgrade our bow quiver. Good. We still need a whole bunch of metal shards, ridgewood, and a metal vessel. I don't think we've gotten a metal vessel yet, but okay. So we've at least bought a bunch of things, and now we can have 30 arrows at once if we can come up with the materials. Okay, so let's see. We did that part of the mission. There's another mission to find there. Whoops. That's where we find Arana. Okay. Main embrace gate. Point of the spear. You can talk to Karst and trade for a tripcaster. That's really what we meant to do. Okay, so we wanted to talk to Odgrata if possible. So I guess we'll go there next. Okay. Did we collect everything, or did I just run off? Just to be sure we haven't forgotten anything. There seems to be no, here. Thought it felt kind of like I hadn't quite finished looting here. My loot sense was tingling.
And one of these.
Okay. Well, I guess that would have been another approach. Could have climbed up here. Maybe, and then attack them from above, basically. Alright. That's always, that's also something I like, that they give you a bunch of spots that you could use to like take a different approach. It's sometimes really interesting how people, I mean, you know, like, of course there's people who, you know, people who do stealth and people who don't do stealth, basically, because you know, every game has like its own idea of stealth in a smaller way, and so sometimes you just don't quite get, you know, like how, for example, like in most people in most cases just, you know, figure it out because the game explains it to them and has a good tutorial. But some games, some people combined with some games find that they don't really. Oh, can I climb up here? Oh, that's nice. You know, some people are basically incompatible with certain, with the way certain games are made, and it's always kind of interesting how to see someone where who is basically accidentally screwing up the stealth every time, you know, but there are also different approaches. Like, some people like to be higher up, others like to be, you know, like to sneak through the grass and come from below and things like that. So there's always are always different approaches to a stealth attack, and of course, depending on the situation, some are more successful and some are less. And it's really nice to see those different approaches. Like, if you watch a stream or something, you know, it's worth watching several streamers play the same game for stealth games, because it's just, there's so much opportunity to do things differently. And that's kind of what makes these games so good, is just, or what interests me about the mechanics in stealth games, is they give you a bunch of tools and then tell you, well, apply them. You know, like, you have a certain skill, you can, you know, like, climb over ropes, and you can hide in grass and things like that, and then you have to figure out what to do. Okay, no, I wanted to upgrade, so we can upgrade weapons satchel. We don't really have that many weapons yet, so that's not a problem yet. Outfits, also not a problem. Resources satchel, we can increase and the traps pouch. Oh, let's see, how is our resources right now? Yeah, we're pretty close. Oops. So let's upgrade the resources satchel first, then the traps pouch also just needs more metal shards. Okay, we can get those. So let's just follow our waypoint up to Odd Grata. Such a nice scenery. I like how they have over there, like how you can see like these huge robot arms that are just in the mountain.
Hello, Grata.
All Mother, since I was cast out, have I not been constant as the river flows? Have I not kept the vows as the stones do? Show me your grace, All Mother, and provide for me once more.
Don't worry, Grata. I'll hunt your rabbits.
All Mother, I hear your voice on the wind. I would count your blessings on my prayer beads, but I lost them atop the eastern overlook. My old bones are too worn to return.
So it's rabbits and your trinket you need this time. Okay, I'll find you at your camp.
Interesting. I kind of thought that was slightly different the first time I played it. Like, I thought Aloy complained more, but maybe that was later. But it's kind of a nice thing, you know, like to say, okay, there's this old woman, and, you know, you need to take her groceries home for her and help her find her glasses. That sort of thing. It's you know, they give you like an example of like how her normal life basically has been so far before they send you off on that adventure, which I like. You know, this is kind of the Shire before Bilbo or Frodo, you know, leave. Okay, I think the first time I played this, I actually ran right into the scrappers. Let's maybe not do that this time. Okay, let's see. So she gave us instructions. I guess that's, yeah, that's... Okay, that's where they recommend we gather meat. Or whatever. Or we... anything else. And this is... we find a rana, okay. So I guess that's where we'll go then. So I think that's probably the eastern overlook she talked about. So let's head down there first, because that's closest. Or maybe just change the mission. So make this side quest current. Potions, we need metal shards, we need a little more ridgewood, and we need a metal vessel. 15 metal vessels. Oh no, here, wait. That's for the potions, but the traps are just metal shards, so that's probably what we want to do next. And we'll have to gather meat for our Odd Grata if we see any animals around, which have probably taken shelter in the rain. from the rain. That's something in this game that's, on one hand, you know, gives it some nice detail. On the other hand, is kind of annoying.
Lion's thirsty for rain. Me, not so much.
There's some more ritual over there, okay. Whoops. Didn't really do that. Right. Oh.
It's going down.
There's the next one. Goodness. Might have bitten off more than I can chew here. Ooh, okay. Oh, I think that's the scrappers. Oh no. Okay, at least I know part of them to shoot. Oh, but that might not have been the best idea. Because they shoot you. Whoa. Surprisingly well. Okay. I guess those are the easy scrappers. Oh, no, wait. There's one more. Okay. Let's collect all the stuff they give us. Thank you. Didn't actually take so any damage.
Are you out there?
Where is that? Oh, that's down there. Okay. Want to go in that direction anyway. Is there anything else that I forgot to loot? I don't think so.
Brom, can you hear me? Brom, please! It's Alara!
Come on. Don't just lie there, let me loot you. Guess that doesn't work. Okay. Okay, and here's the next
I'm here,
mission, I
Brom! Are
guess.
you out there?
Okay, yeah, we came by this. This side, I guess.
Please, Brom! Come find me!
Ah, here are climby bits. Good. Let's see what's up there then. Here's someone, at least.
Brom! It's your sister, Alara!
Who are you calling out for? Do you need help?
I have nothing against outcasts. Far from it. But I shouldn't talk to you. I don't want to get in trouble.
I don't see anyone else around to help.
I guess you're right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be callous. My brother was cast out, but his sentence has ended. He should have come home, but he didn't, and his camp was covered in blood.
You said your brother's camp was soaked with blood?
The Braves went looking for him, and that's what they found. All I can think about is what might have happened. Is he really dead? Or maybe just wounded? Is he suffering? Does he need help? I can't stand it not knowing.
What are you doing out here all alone?
Each day I cut a notch on the wall so I knew Brahm's sentence was over. Then I cut 3 more. But he still hadn't come back. I begged the matriarchs to send Braves to find him, and all they found was a blood-soaked camp. The Braves said he must be dead. But I have to know the truth. So I came out looking for him.
Why was your brother cast out?
Rom was always a little different. A little touched. One of the hunters had a cruel heart and never let him alone. I was gone but an hour, and the hunter set after him like always, but this time, Brahm struck back with a rock and split the man's skull. Spirits made him do it, he said. Whispers of the forgotten. It cost him 10 years. I never should have left him alone.
What do you mean, forgotten?
All Mother curses blasphemers who won't repent, banishing them from her eternal memory. Those lost spirits are the forgotten. Brahm used to say they spoke to him, told him to do things. It was such a burden for him, and there was nothing I could do to help.
I'll do what I can to find your brother.
You will? Then let me come with you. I won't be a bother. I know how to stay out of sight.
I'm faster on my own.
If that is how it must be, just find him then. Please.
Okay. So that's an interesting story because, like, from the sounds of it, he, like, he might be, like, have a mental illness or something. Which, you don't have in that many games, at least, not in a... I mean, sometimes you have, like, the evil mastermind or something, or the crazy helper, or whatever. Oh, that's still that one that won't work. But, like, just having...
Got one.
I don't know. I hope he's friendly and doesn't end up killing someone, but, like, just having someone have a brother, especially in, like, this, this, like tribal society, and in this, not yet technologically advanced society, showing how that was seen there is kind of nice. So let's see what this side quest asks from us. Oh. First, let's get rid of this watcher.
Can't have you giving away the hunt. That must be Arana. Sounds like she's in trouble.
Yeah, get rid of them, please!
Oh, okay. Got a little ahead of myself, it seems. The other watchers. That's Let's first take cover, I think. Then I can plan more easily. Oh, okay.
Rocket down!
I can get out of this.
Yeah, teach him a lesson! Get them! Take those watchers down!
Hopefully you don't have any friends left. Even though you called out to them. Okay, took a little damage there.
From those machines. Can I talk to you for a minute?
Let me just loot first, you know how it is. Never.
I just want to
Oh,
thank
just a
you.
light taste of metal.
Get all of them.
Hey, come over here. Please.
It's also a bit... On one hand it's, I guess, realistic, on the other hand it's a bit tutorial-y.
Thank you. I thought those watchers were gonna tear me apart.
Your father sent me after you. It's time to go home.
I figured. But I can't go back until I get my mother's spear from that scrapper.
That spear must mean a lot to you.
My mother made it not long before she died. I can't believe my father lost it.
He didn't mean to. Scrappers are dangerous.
I know. I just can't stand the idea that it might be gone forever.
Your father is worried sick about you.
He gets worried if I go 10 steps to relieve myself in the bushes.
He doesn't want to lose you, Arana.
I know. But I do wish he wouldn't yell at me so much.
How did you wind up in that tree?
I tracked the scrapper to Mother's cradle. Caught a glimpse of it too, but then a watcher saw me and called his pack. My oh, Mother, I'm just not a good enough hunter to get that spear back, am I?
I'll look for your spear.
You will? Oh, thank you.
Go find your father. His leg gave out while he was searching for you, just south of Mother's Heart.
Oh, no. Okay, I'll go to him right away. Thanks again.
Well, we could have led with that. But Dad's in trouble. Screw that spear. Okay, so I guess, yeah, so her going like, hey, talk to me, hey, hello, I want to talk to you, is kind of, yeah, it feels like a game. Of course, like in real life, you would probably say, give me a second, or something like that, but, you know, it's still kind of, fun. It still feels, yeah, I don't know, weird. Press R1 when the reticule is over tracks to tag them. Tag tracks remain visible after the focus is deactivated. And so that's like how they introduce you, this mission, it's how they introduce you to a new mechanic again. Which I like. It's kind of like, you know, Sherlock Holmes CSI-ish aspects of the game, so to say.
I'll tuck that away.
And it's nice that you know, you get to investigate stuff like that. Raccoons. There's a strider. done that.
That'll
It's
help.
fine. Oh, I went too far away. Too bad. I guess she went that way. Those rocks almost look like people. I'm not sure if that... Oh no, that was a person. Okay. It's just standing there. Is that where we came from? Looks suspiciously like the guard post. Oh, actually it isn't.
Verona's trail ends here. Must be where she saw the scrapper. If I follow its tracks, I should be able to find that spear.
Okay. So let's follow the tracks then.
Mother's cradle.
Oh, so we get a view of Mother's cradle. Okay, nice. Nice fortified city. People. Oh, I think that's a little kids running. Interesting. And now it turns off the road. Now the question is, was that supposed to be our first scrapper and the 3 I just met earlier were just before that? Reminds me. Or is this now a stronger scrapper?
The trail ends here. I'll bet it crossed the river. Better check the other side.
Let's collect what we can. Oh, that reminds me, I think right, I think these are skills I had early on, so I should unlock those probably. Doubles the capacity of the medicine pouch. And I wanted Tinker pretty early on. That might be why it's a little easier now, because I managed to choose the right abilities. Like I went for an offensive ability first this time because I didn't see the healing ones. But okay, that's fine. I guess for the way I play, brute strength helps a little bit. There's a rabbit. There's a watcher. There's a broken watcher. somehow attacked both Watchers, but didn't really pay attention to how many there are in my head.
More than equipped to take you on. Never takes long before scrappers come looking for parts.
That was always... I guess it's something... Oh, and there is a scrapper. Okay, and I got his... Okay. I should have probably dodged more here. Then I wouldn't have taken as much damage. Yeah. Ooh, there's another scrapper. Oh, come on. Okay, those scrappers are still okay to get. Okay.
I could check my focus, see what it sees.
Yeah, after the loot. It's always important to loot first. You should know that by now, Aloy. Yeah, so the Watchers do, when they notice you doing that little jump and roll to the side, that's always kind of been... Okay, 2 of 5 meat for odd grata we have now. That was really difficult for me at first. It meant that a lot of Watchers got way closer than they do right now. So I guess that's what happens when you get a couple hours into a game. You slowly get used to certain enemies just out of practice. Anything left? A few boars. Guess I can feed Grata from that. Okay, Scrapper's tracks. Sorry.
Can my focus show me anything?
I totally forgot that it took several arrows to kill a boar at the beginning. And that's like, yeah, so it's like when you level up in a game, that's like how they, you know, the...
Prayer beads were at the Eastern Overlook. It's not far from here.
Okay, I have enough meat now, that's good. Although I will need more later. So why not hunt it while we know where you are? Okay. Alright. We're now in the spot, and there we have new tracks to highlight. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, the scrapper went up there, right. do a quick save. Ah, hi Stimpy, how's it going? How are you doing? I'm just at the beginning of Horizon Zero Dawn, so if you want to know, you know, like I started streaming like after I had played about 20 levels already. 26, I think, was the point at which I was. So, I kind of thought that, it would be good to go back and just play the beginning again.
Tasty.
So I have, you know, so there's a complete playthrough in the VODs. And so that's what I'm replaying right now. Yeah, I mentioned I restarted in the Discord, that's right.
There.
Up there is a blue
Time to
light.
get that spear.
Red light, green light. Well, blue light, but hey. So there will be a sort of a herd of them up there, I think, if I remember correct. That was something that surprised me the first time I played here. I just ran up there to get the one and then oops! A whole bunch of people up there. One scrapper. There's a watcher. There's another scrapper. Oh.
Down. The others haven't noticed.
Got one. That one has the spear in it, so definitely want to get that one first. Whoops. Okay. That one at least.
Arana will be
I
happy
got
to
the
have it back.
spear. And the last time I did this, the scrappers killed me. And I respawned, but I had cleared the mission, you know, so... But it's not quite easy. Oh, out of ammo, that's not good. Woo! Revenge! That's for killing me the first time. Whoa. Yeah, of course, it's... If you know what to expect, of course, it becomes a little easier. So, yeah. We did our mission here. We've got some medicinal plants. Really only for medicinal reasons, I swear. No, you know, recreational uses of them at all. What else do we have to loot here? It's always so nice to be able to just calmly run around, explore and loot. Even if it's just wires and metal shards and stuff. Oh, I probably have... Do I have something left to craft? Yes. Weapons, outfits, traps pouch. Yes, please. Modification satchel. We have enough to upgrade that as well. Okay, good. Just keep upgrading as we can. So the reason I picked these things, by the way, is so we have exactly one weapon right now, which is the arrow and the bow, and we have the spear, but that's like separate. That's a separate key. and like the weapons satchel just means like how many weapons we can carry along that we are not using. Outfits, we have exactly one outfit, so we haven't had any need for more either. Resources satchel, of course, like we keep gathering resources and we craft stuff from them, so the more you can carry at once, the better. So I'll keep upgrading that. Modifications is the same, like we collect modifications when we kill machines. Bow quiver, of course you want to upgrade because then you don't run out of ammo as quickly. Traps is basically the same thing, although we don't have traps right now. And potions, also same situation. So in the early game you hunt wildlife to increase satchel sizes? Yeah, pretty much. You actually do that for quite a while, it's just different animals. But like most of the upgrades are based on animal parts and the health potions are based on meat that you get from animals. So that's basically why you want to keep hunting animals. There's also a few missions where it just says, you know, like hunt 5 boars or whatever. But that gets rarer later on. So that's maybe like 5 missions throughout the entire game. So yeah. I like the save game mechanism here, by the way. Like you don't like lose, or at least at the difficulty level I'm playing. I don't know if at harder difficulties they might do something to make it feel more challenging and survivalist-ish. But anyways, they if you clear a mission objective, that counts. Like that gets saved right away. And you just get thrown. I think you get taken to the nearest campfire. Yeah, because I've had moments where I got teleported to a campfire I hadn't been to before. But so that means you don't have to run that far to get to the point again, and once you've cleared a mission objective, it's yours, you know. And of course, if you respawn, you know, the health potions you used up, I think, are still used up, so you might have to, you know, run elsewhere and craft new stuff or hunt to get new parts. Oh, and let's see how long that game took me. 113 hours. It says here. Oh, I just realized I might have overwritten. Well, I guess the last save point is not really that important, because you cannot continue playing after the end. Did I quick save already? I don't remember. But okay, so we did that mission, and now we can turn it in. We also have to go to Karst and trade for a tripcaster. We wanted to do that anyway, so let's do that now while we're nearby. That's what I did originally as well.
No one
Such
else
a pretty
around.
game.
Safe to meet. My guess is he'll be waiting for. There he is. Looks nervous.
Well, well, well. An outcast on my doorstep. All mother protect me.
Surprised you saw me the way you keep looking every other direction to make sure no one's watching. Careful there, or you'll sprain your neck.
It's always a pain in the neck when you show up, girl, one way or another.
Is there a reason why you're acting so cranky today?
Once you run the proving and get made a brave, you'll deal with traitors in Mother's Heart. Maybe I don't like losing customers.
Traitors who don't break the law and deal with outcasts, you mean?
That's right. Our days of crime will be behind us, so long as you keep quiet.
Are you worried I'm going to tell someone that you trade with outcasts?
I don't think you're the kind who talks, but you never know.
You can stop worrying. The secret's safe with me.
Yeah, that's what I figured, but I don't mind hearing it.
Why do you take the risk, trading with outcasts?
Every time you ask. If a big, meaningful talk is what you're after, move along.
It's because you used to be one, isn't it?
Yeah. Got caught poking around one of the metal ruins out beyond the Embrace. Matriarch said I was tainted and gave me 5 years.
What did you see in the ruins?
Nothing I can make sense of. After my shunning, I tried living back in Mother's Heart, but everyone I knew had moved on, and there were so many people everywhere I turned. I like it better out here.
The only person I've ever told about our trades is Rost.
Yeah, well, not like he can turn me in, even if he wanted to. Law and duty sort of a man, that Rost. I don't know how you stand it.
You really don't know why he was cast out?
I've told you no. I don't think anyone knows what he did, but it must have been serious because his term is for life.
I always find it strange if you have those open world settings if you can't keep playing after the end. I mean, why? Well, you can keep playing after the end, I think. I don't actually remember what happened. I think they just put you... Yeah, I think you can still run around and do like a few errands that you haven't finished afterwards, but like the Frozen Wilds expansion is actually before the last battle. And I mean the last battle changes some things, so you know, I can kind of understand it when they you know, like they'd have to integrate the consequences of the final scene into every mission that you might not have finished by the end, or provide you with new missions to play after the end of the game, which, you know, like, why would you have it peter out instead of going out on a bang? So I can kind of understand just from a, you know, game mechanical and storytelling perspective that it just doesn't make sense to you know, let you play at the end of certain games, because, you know, like, many games have an ending that has consequences. I mean, for for the Batman Arkham games, for instance, it might be easier because you can still have, you know, Gotham will still be full of criminals to you know, like, hunt, and crimes to break up and things like that. But so you just take out, you know, like the Joker hideout or whatever, if that's something that you already cleared, or replace the guards there with, you know, like regular criminals or whatever, and it works. But in a game where you actually have consequences in the end, yeah, Mass Effect 3, of course, is an extreme example because you actually make a choice at the end of Mass Effect 3. Like, there are very different choices at the end. And so it would be a totally different game depending on which of the choices you did. So they can't really let you stop in a satisfying way. And, you know, as I said, like, from a storytelling point of view, you've had this amazing ending and you're happy, and now they just drop you in town and say, you know, like, here, there's 5 new tiny missions, like you had to do on the side. Do those if you want to. Like, most people will go, well, I've had the main story, why would I, like, do these tiny missions or something, you know? Actually, they're very similar. Yeah, the Mass Effect endings, you know what I mean. I don't, since I'm kind of expecting people who are playing, um, are playing. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Because I started reading your next message. Um, yeah, some people just want to wander around and show off their character. Yeah, true. But I mean, that's what, you have New Game Plus for. You can just, you know, respawn with all your abilities and all the loot you've acquired so far. Um, that works as well. I mean, I like games that are kind of, especially like if there are missions early on that, you can do or can choose not to do, and you kind of, I love it when I then can go back with the same character and just finish a few early missions that I might have missed or something like that. Um, yeah, some games don't have New Game Plus, that's true. But like from a engineering standpoint, New Game Plus is probably the easiest way to give people more replayability without having to, compromise on the ending or add extra content. Um, that kind of, like destroys the story arc. Because, you want to kind of put a final point on there and make a statement and things like that.
Last
Okay,
time I
let's
visited,
trade.
you had a tripcaster available for trade. Still got it?
I do. But you'd need to bring me a scrapper lens. What can I say? Special weapons don't come cheap.
Oh, I can pay. Took down a scrapper not long ago. Stripped out the lens in perfect condition.
I'll be the judge of that. Show me.
Karst, Special Weapons Division. We get a free sample box from him, like from every trader here. I like that one a lot. Okay, we can buy a tripcaster with our scrapper lens. Okay, put that down here. For the others we need 70, but we only have 10. That's also nice that at a trader you can go and create a job for a certain item that you want to get. It's, as I said, like the actual using of the jobs is a little silly because you only have one quest active at a time, and you would want to have your current quest and the crafting quest, because usually you just on the side as you go, do those crafting, collect the resources that you need during missions. So, and also, like, you might be collecting stuff, resources during one mission that are actually for like two different crafting, or in this case, purchasing jobs. So you would want to have that built, that you can say, just show me all the resources I need for any of my crafting jobs, maybe grouped a little so that if I get the top 3 ones or whatever, then I will actually have a complete item or something, But yeah, I guess they didn't get around to doing that. So I guess we can get a warbow or the Karja sling later. 15 blaze and 150 metal shards. Nah, probably not.
Now that you've got yourself a tripcaster, practice how to use it someplace else, all right? My life's exciting enough without a bunch of shock wire booby traps to trip over.
Really? Could have fooled me.
I like this conversation because it's both, like on one hand it tells you, because Ross just told you, or I don't know, Aloy maybe said, I don't know, but like the game basically tells you you are getting a tripcaster now. It's not you picking a weapon from a list that sounds interesting. It's something Aloy and Rost have already chosen. The game developers have already chosen for you. And so that he, on one hand, tells you, practice it somewhere, but please not here, and that it does shock trip wires, kind of to tell you what a tripcaster really is also a nice choice. I think like it's a good delivery of expositions. You get tripcaster now. Yeah, he's kind of a bit of a Vorcha in that way. Like a Mass Effect 2 after the end, where you can keep roaming the galaxy. It doesn't cost them anything. Yeah, again, that depends on like what the consequences of your game are. I think here in Horizon Zero Dawn they let you roam around, but like since the expansion happens before that, I'm kind of saying like there's not that much to do, and I think I did all my missions. We already traded.
Anything else?
Will you be around later, in case I want to make another trade?
I'll be here. Same as usual, bring me the parts you harvest from any machines you hunt. The better the parts, the more shards I'll pay. Be sure to take a close look at my inventory, though. Who knows? Maybe I've got something that could give you an edge in the proving.
I guess that concludes our business.
All right. Good luck in the proving. Blessing of All Mother and all that.
I've got what I need. Time to meet Rost at the North Gate.
So, they actually gave us ammunition for the tripcaster. That's nice. I'm at the ground near an enemy and fire 2 spots to place a shock wire. It will stun an enemy that crosses the wire. Yes, I know. Okay. So yeah, but it's an interesting weapon for, like, being sneaky. If you have, like, a little bit of time to prepare, then you can basically go and, cause some damage, without you having to get out of cover, and without exposing where you are. Okay, so one thing I wanted to do, which I didn't do the original time, but which I also didn't do on stream, is I wanted to go to these ruins.
Good meat.
She always seems to be kind of this good meat phrase kind of sounds a little weird, like she's like we just caught something that is disgusting and she tries to find something positive about it. Oh, did we get... yeah, we got 1 skill point. So let's see, we could wait and get the herbalist. Or we could get additional natural resources when foraging. I think we do that because it will speed up things a lot. That's what I did originally when I played this as well. Like how do I decide which skills I get? Well, one of the things is I like loot in the sense that you can build stuff when you get it, but on the other hand, I'm not too much a fan of running around. And having to, like, to get something. Oops, Tripcaster is still selected. turn away. Okay, where did the other one go? Yeah, it's not that interesting to... Oh. Totally missed that there are more machines here. I hope the others just ran away. Won't be coming back. Okay, yeah, but you know, like having to run around and loot just to get you know, the ingredients for an item together is kind of less interesting. So I try to, you know, like if there's an ability here that gives me more stuff for every time I loot, of course I want that, you know. Because I'm more after the results of the loot than the actual process of running from one node to the other and harvesting stuff. Okay. So yeah, let's head in this direction, and there is a hole. And if you look, you might kind of remember that as sort of our earlier starting point. So let's climb down here.
This old place. I haven't been here in years. Wonder what I can find.
So of course, if someone knew that we were in here, we would be outcast. But, you know, if you take Aloy's character, basically, you know, like right now she is already outcast. If you do this later, then of course you feel, like, roleplay wise, it feels a little weird to me. So that's why I decided to insert that here now, and also because I hadn't streamed it yet. And you need to go through here for a later mission. Oh, rats. Wait, can I shoot rats? They're so tiny and run. Yes. Where did you go? Tiny little rat meat. And he give you tiny meat. Just wait here. Well, anyway, you might remember that when we got here in the beginning, I should remember that you get
Tasty.
that there's lots of rats here in case I ever need any for crafting. Yeah, you might remember that we had a bunch of things that we were not able to get to as a kid. So let's go through here and search if we can find anything. There's another rat down there. Okay, that's the stairs. Let's just be sure we didn't overlook anything up here. But it doesn't look like it. Okay. I guess we'll do it once. Okay. I should probably not mumble as much and should remember to enunciate a little more. And I should remember to go wherever the stairs are. Wait, I think I got turned around. Okay, let's see. Let's set some waypoints. Oh, it won't let me set a waypoint here? No, it won't. Either here or down the right from where I was. Was that here? No, it's not. Let's just see if there was no. There's nothing down there. So let's go here. Yeah, that was where the stairs were with the rats. Hello, rat. Oh, that was a generous hitbox on that rat. Missed one. Fine. Let's explore some more and see if we can find anything here, or if we see anything that's worth getting. That's the suicidal guy. Well, they're all kind of suicidal, I guess, but the gunshot guy from early on. Oh, there's a door. Let's see if we can get through here. There's the room with stuff in it. That works. Good. A bunch of resources at least. Of things here. That's where we came from. Really getting turned around here. Yeah, that's where we came from. That's the stairs. It's kind of hard since it wants to, like, we don't have any mission, and there isn't any mission basically to help us explore here. And that would be kind of useful with the mapping if it like gave us a point on the other end of this place and told us to go there, you know. Unlocked, but let's check. Oh yeah, here's another thing.
Area back there. I wonder if I can find a way into it now that I'm older. Yep, we did that again. I could shall
Chill water. Machine core medium. Power
Some
cell.
kind of power cell. I wonder what it's for.
And now we got a new side quest. And so you get this side quest no matter where you pick up the power cells. But this is like there are spots on like in the main missions where you can find these power cells somewhere off the beaten path, and this is the one place that you do not naturally come by because there's no mission that guides you down here. And so I thought it would be worth it going here, so that if you are playing this game, because those power cells, there is no map markers, no nothing for those. So just walk around and see if you can find any loot that says it's a power cell. Some are really well hidden. Like some are like you go to a tower, there is your mission, and then on that tower there is like a spot where you have to like climb even higher or something, or you know, cross to somewhere where no mission really takes you. And there is the power cell. So these are really hidden across the game. So that's why I'm like giving you this almost spoiler, because like most people I know didn't find the power cells and eventually just googled for them, and they give you an item that you will want for endgame. All good things. Data point. From Director Evans, to all staff, I regret to inform you that our worst fears have been realized. The Wichita salient has collapsed, and our position will be overrun in less than 24 hours. As I'm sure you understand, exfiltration transport is not available. If you wish to abandon the facility and try your luck on foot, you may do so. Lock 2 will unseal at 2100 hours and remain unsealed for 15 minutes. Godspeed. For those of us who'd rather not die on our feet, there will be a gathering in the community room at 2200 hours, and Nurse Chana will make other means available. I want to underscore how proud I am of each and every person who served at this post. It is important to bear in mind that our sacrifices were not in vain. I hope that makes this a little easier. For months now I've been signing off messages as Director Evans, but I suppose we can dispense with such formalities now. Respectfully, Ellen. Okay, so we've pretty much explored all here, I think. So let's continue through that door that taught us the opening mechanism. Let's see if there's anything else here. I don't think so. But yeah, well, you're rewarded for exploring. Yeah, true. That's definitely a point of it. But, yeah, it feels a little weird to have a mission where it basically tells you, collect ancient power cells. And then you go like, I don't know, you know, I accidentally ran across one. There's this whole huge world. Where will I find one? And, you know, like, I have a life, I have a job. There's only so much time I can spend on this game, and so it's, says the guy replaying the start. But, you know, you get my idea. That's where we got our focus from. So can we actually get back up there now? Yeah, okay. So that was just a spot we couldn't get back from when we were smaller. I kind of like that. I guess it... yeah. Like now we can... like they... they give you something that requires you to have the spear. You know, otherwise you'd be just in the same spot as before. Woo! The bats are still there after all this time. Anyway, you know, like here, down here, that was where we were in the beginning. And there was, you know, like, it was just a whole... oh, we can get in this room now. That looked like a cathedral. There's a metal flower.
Such strange artifacts.
Code fragment downloaded. Function true. Light of the moon moves west. Flowers, shadows. Creep eastward. Function true. Okay, that seems a bit weird. Why would function true? That like, to a programmer that sounds nonsensical. But yeah, I guess it's a poem or something. Machine poetry? I don't know. Where it came from? Beep 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 beep. No. Okay. And that's where we originally dropped in. Which, come to think of it, is also a spot that we haven't been in before with the focus, but I don't see anything obvious. Hold still, rat. Need your meat. Actually, I would prefer like skin or bones or something useful for crafting, but you get my drift. So let's see, we can get through here, I guess, and that's, yeah, that's where we dropped in. The question is, can we get out here? There's more bats. Ooh.
Save this for later.
So I guess that's where we fell down. Ooh. Still stuff breaking off here. Much nicer if we don't use up all our arrows. Okay, let's see where this leads. Oh wait, this is just the way back. Okay, yeah. So that means we can't get out there. But anyway, at least we've explored it. You may have left a rat floating there. Yeah, I guess the idea was to make this a little bit of a secret thing. And especially like coming back here, kind of. My problem mainly was come on, yeah. Yeah, forgot the train of thought. Okay, we went here. There was another spot we opened up, I think. Upstairs? What was it? Not here. Yeah, here. That was the spot we opened up. Okay. So get more supplies. Okay. And we can drop down here. Oh, that's where we came from, actually. That's just downstairs. So I think there was a little bug here. I thought we were... yeah, now things were outside for some reason. Okay. No exit here, so we just have to walk back, I guess. At least now the nav points point in the right direction. Yeah, the exploring, I didn't really make, you know, like, you don't get to see a map until Rost and you have walked a lot after after the actual original moment that you fell down. So you don't really know which spot here is the one you actually fell into. So I thought, you know, like, it would be good to go back there, but then I didn't know where it was. Of course, like, during this playthrough I actually, you know, like, made a point of checking right the first time I was able to where we were and said, okay, I guess this item on the map must be this spot. Ooh, bright sunlight. Fun in the sun. I have to say, I'm not sure I've ever seen a fox in real life, not to mention heard it. And I wonder if those noises are actual noises that foxes make. You know, I'd guess they'd researched it, but of course it could also be that they just went with a general animal noise and, you know, said, okay, well, they probably wouldn't do it. It kind of doesn't make sense. They spend so much time on research. But it's a very weird noise for an animal to make, I think. Okay, so we've explored that. We're supposed to get back to Thok. That was the guy we saved, I think, and we're supposed to help Odd Grata. And then we can meet Rost, I think, because then we've done all our quests. Yeah, okay, Thok is the guy with the broken leg. And Ancient Armory is for level 25, so we'll not actually be going there for a while, but we can start collecting the power cells already. It kind of feels little weird that, like, you run around. That as you collect your first power cell, no matter where it was, and it was like during some other mission, you know, you get this mission about the ancient armory. That it's not you have to come across the cave somewhere, and that unlocks the mission or something. But I guess most, you know, mission unlocks are you're in the general area and you get an exclamation mark. So it's not as if you didn't have random encounters with mission anyway. Okay, the Forgotten. Go to Brom's camp. Oh, we want to do that as well. Okay, so let's return to Thok and do Odd Grata and the Forgotten before we move on. Okay, so let's see. We want to go up there. I think the first time I got here with Arana still up there, I think I went to the campfire to save and they attacked me right there and then. Hold box to stealth swim just below the water. Interesting. Use stealth swimming to avoid detection. There's a bunch of these messages that I missed the first time they came around just because they just pop up for a short time. Turkey. Trying to think, which way do I have to go? I actually gotta go to the left for Thok. So let's go over there and ignore these. We've just collected a whole lot of resources.
Oh,
After
Mother be
all.
praised. Aloy's back with the spear. First you send Arana back to me, and now you've got the spear. When I first called out to you for help, I didn't even know if you'd speak to me. I'm glad you did.
Me too. I can't believe you got the spear back.
Your mother knew how to craft them. It's of exceptional make.
I'll never be the crafter she was, but she did pass along a few tricks. I'd be happy to take a look at your spear.
Thank you. It sounds like she was special. I'm sorry for your loss.
Well, because of you, I still have the spear to remember her by. You didn't have to help us, but you did. She would have admired that. Thank you, Aloy, for everything.
So I guess we get a spear damage boost +1 and 1000 XP. Yes.
Snow chill itches.
So that's good. Let's collect some ridgewood over here. Stuff always grows back so fast. Thank you for coming by, Turkey.
Tough, but I'm used to it.
Okay, that reminds me, traps and potions. We can actually craft? Wait. Potions. Health boost and full health potions. Okay, we don't have stuff for that, but we have room for those. Okay. And carry capacity, do we have another upgrade? Trapcaster ammo pouch. Witchwood, blaze, yes. Fox bone and mill shards. Oh, I suggest you don't try to catch a fox in real life. I mean, they bite and spread all kind of diseases. Yeah, like it's in the area where I grew up, it was a rabies area, and it was basically I think if I ever, like, I don't remember seeing a fox, but if I had seen a fox as a kid, I would have probably been told, you know, stay away from that one. If it comes towards you or whatever, it's infected. Because that's usually, what rabies does is it's one of those illnesses that, like, modify the behavior of the carrier. And so it makes them kind of friendlier. So that suddenly animals that usually run away, which foxes are very skittish, you know, like they will attack like chickens or something because those are their prey. But like when they see a human, they will just usually just run away, as far as I know. And when they have rabies, they become like pets, like they walk up to you and like, you know, are totally not afraid, and that's why rabies, you know, as an illness, still exists, and is because by those animals becoming overly friendly, but aggressive, they will first, you know, like, and well, it's more like fearless and aggressive in a way. They will come towards you, and then, you know, at some point they will, you know, like scratch you, bite you, whatever it is. That I think it's biting that transfers it, and then you get you would get rabies. Metal shards and 1 boar bone. So really lots of metal shards and stuff. Anyway, so we've done this mission, we've got a better spear. And now that's Beatros, that's Odd Grata. Why doesn't the other quest show up? Go to Brom's camp. So where is Brom's camp? Way down there. Okay. So I guess we'll walk back in that direction before we do Grata's mission. Such a nice place. Like in the beginning I was so busy, like I noticed, you know, like it's pretty and, you know, you take in the area, but I was so scared of all the machines constantly attacking you. You know, that I didn't quite take time to notice how calm and idyllic it really is compared to the rest of the game. Which, you know, is totally fine. You know, at the beginning of a game you're always a little more you know, a little more stressed by it. Like especially, you know, like in games where you have random encounters on the way from point A to point B. I always feel a little bit stressed. So I'm totally not surprised, you know, that I wouldn't have. Oh. I think we attracted a scrapper. hit you twice. Okay. Gotcha. Oh. I guess it's, you know, now if you're a little more familiar with something after playing it the first time, then you're suddenly a lot less stressed. Because you know that, you know, you got through most of these and you've done them a dozen times. And, yeah, I mentioned MMOs. Yeah, in MMOs, there's, you know, you often have these random encounters, and like the first time I played any of the MMOs that have that, like Star Wars The Old Republic, and which was the other one that always had you played? I didn't play that many, but I can't remember what other one might have been that I played early on, where you always ran into enemies on the way. Well, anyway, I mean, many MMOs do that. And yeah, it just stressed me to just go from place A to point B. And now I just, you know, walk through those and I know, like, okay, this, if you follow the paths, you will get the minimum number of enemies, and if you go off the path, that is where all the enemies are. So, like, if you want to, you know, like, farm for loot or something like that, then you go off the path, so you encounter as many enemies as you can. And if you have, like, a mount or something, then you can just ride past most of the enemies and they will eventually stop pursuing you. And so once you've figured out the general way stuff like this works, you're no longer as stressed.
Looks good.
And of course, once you've streamed a game, you've, you know, been distracted trying to find stuff to talk about while playing the game so much that it becomes, you know, easier to play that game at least. I mean, it's every time there's a new game you have to learn that again. Like, you know, but you're forced to... Oops. You just notice them and then they're already flying away. Where was I? Talking about something, how I kind of... Yeah, you know, it's like you don't necessarily...
Can't have you giving away the hunt.
Roll again? It's kind of, you learn to, you know, like, you just learn the... like, streaming a game actually helps you internalize the game. Because although, you know, it's harder at the start, you kind of... It's less you consciously doing work and more your brain having to rely on training your reflexes to do things right, because you're spending the time talking instead of actually playing, you know.
Blood, but no body. There's gotta be more to this.
Okay, examine the campfire. And this is something that is a little, like a tiny detail about this awesome game, that while you are in the focus, you cannot interact with items. And so I would kind of expect that, like, if you scan this and the objective is interact with this, that you would, in the focus, have a way to just, you know, trigger that. But you have to go out of the focus to get the prompt.
Looks like a few drops of blood lead away from the camp.
Few drops of blood lead away from the tent. So highlight the track. When the reticles over tracks are checked, and tag tracks are visible after the focus is deactivated. Yes. I've had this before.
Whose knife is this? Did someone attack Brom with it? Looks like more blood leading away from here.
That was, I didn't get it. Alright, so let's just follow these tracks.
There, a bucket.
There's a hole in the
Did someone bring the
bucket.
blood to the camp? The trail of blood ends here, but whoever left it must have also left tracks.
Tracks. That, that hit box was very generous for that, for highlighting that track. Like, I basically didn't have the track on screen, but it told me, hey, you can highlight it. Talking of random encounters, the last time I got past here... Oh no, they're still there. Okay, never mind. Oh, another one. Well, I forgot to draw the bow. No. Stupid, stupid. Alrighty then. Let's grab some more richwood. Craft some more arrows before we run out. In the middle of something. That watcher left us a little green present, that's nice. Yeah, it's weird, this is not New Game Plus, you know, this, I just started a real new game. So, I'm kind of confused why it all seems so easy right now. Because I would have expected, you know, lower levels to be a bigger problem than me not being familiar with the gameplay. that hill. But I guess that's what cover is for.
That's twisted. I wonder if the blood from the camp came from this boar.
Oh, so he did a recently decapitated with an edged weapon or tool. Okay.
If Brahm did this, why does he want people to think he's dead? And why desecrate the shrine?
More tracks. Yes. Okay. Then let's just keep going and find a spot.
What are those scrappers picking at?
Okay. At least it's kind of an interesting. Oh. It's an interesting ecosystem they've built here. With, you know, like most animals seem to have like their purpose here. Oh wow. This one at this distance. Did that funny side hop again. Gonna run out of arrows soon if I keep doing that. Yeah. Aloy is really fast with the bow. Barely 2 seconds between shots is extremely fast. Yeah, yeah. I wonder if that's just a gameplay thing or, you know, if it's
Looks like it was a watcher. Whoever I'm following made short work of it. If it's Brahm, he definitely knows how to handle a spear.
Come on. Hold still. Okay, finally. Okay, so he took apart a watcher, at least, that the scrappers went over. And here's the track to follow. Okay. So we can do that on the side. Experienced archers may do that. I mean, she did it all her life, so it's realistic. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking like, where the, you know, the difference between
Rare part.
Olympic level, you know, archer and impossible lies right now, you know. I mean, I guess it also depends on like what kind of bow you have, because you know, this is, I think this is actually a quick shot bow or something. What's it called? Not just hunter bow. But here it says trades power for faster reload and firing time, and is good for short to medium range combat. Oh, that reminds me, we have some mods, so why not apply them? Extra damage. handling will actually make us reload even faster. Let's try that. Although, no, actually let's not do that because I didn't use handling until recently. Okay. So, I want to make this the playthrough that, you know, is close to what I did when I originally played it, after all. There's no speed shooting at Olympic level. Ah, you know what I mean. Yeah, what I'm just thinking is like, you know, like, is it... Yeah, I guess, you know, like, since this is how she gets breakfast, basically, you know. So this is like, when we, I don't know, you know, navigate a bus or operate a stove or something like that, you know, like, or just, you know, like, cooking, you know, this is part of cooking for her, shooting with arrows. So, it's, and if you see it as that, then of course, you know, like, she uses her arrow, her bow every day. We'll always call it an arrow instead of a bow. Let's get that before somebody else gets it. Is it here? Yeah. So, where was I? Yeah, so you're right, she uses the bow a lot, so of course it's second nature to her. And she would be, by today's standards, really good, because like everyone who uses a bow today, or pretty much everyone, like there's some tribes that still, you know, hunt their food and things like that. Like everyone else, like everyone that you or I would probably meet that uses a bow, does it for a few, you know, for a few hours each week or something, or maybe for a few hours each day, but like then, you know, like it's an hour a day or something because they train, because they do it as a sport, or because they are, you know, Olympic level athletes or something.
It's not getting any warmer out here.
But anyway, you know, like Aloy probably does it at least as uses her bow at least as often as you know, a professional athlete who can spend, you know, like weeks training for the Olympics. Because that's just what she does, you know, like we flush the toilet, she shoots an arrow. Kind of like that, you know, it's just skills you regularly train.
I was an outcast for a long time. Why take food and gear now?
Oops. That wasn't quite what I intended, but luckily it wasn't a deep enough fall.
It's the supplies from the cache. Why would they take them and just throw them away? Whoever I'm following isn't hunting with a full quiver, that's for sure.
Haha. Hunting with a full quiver. It's the colloquialism that fits here. I mean, yeah, she doesn't have crayon boxes, so isn't the brightest crayon in the box or whatever. Works here as well. Wouldn't work here, I mean, so...
I won't listen! Not until you promise! She's my sister. My sister. I need to protect her. I will. I'll kill myself. I'll kill myself before I hurt her. You're not a spirit. What do you want?
I want you to step away from the edge, Brom.
No. Leave me alone. Can't you see I need time to think? How am I supposed to think when everybody is shouting at me?
Yeah, we're pooping expert, exactly, yeah. No, I mean, like, sorry, I couldn't come up with, like, a better, thing, you know, like, that you do regularly every day, and, like, yeah, like, maybe brushing your teeth is an example. Like, as a little kid, you didn't, you know, do it really well, but these days it's just you haven't really woken up, and you're already standing in front of the mirror and brushing your teeth, and you've done the movement so often, and you know how to, you know, like, open the toothpaste tube, squeeze out a little bit on the toothbrush, you know, like, I don't know, you might wet it a little bit, you're operating the handle of your faucet, and then you brush your teeth, and you know exactly, like, most people have, like, this habit of, like, starting at a certain tooth, you know, then, like, going, like, I don't know, along the back, then along the front, then along the lower back and the lower front, or whatever, you know, like, it's just so habitual that it doesn't really involve much conscious thought anymore. That's what I basically meant, and it's a complex set of movements if you think about it, you know, and I'm sure there are better examples, but I can't think of one right now, you know. I guess riding a bicycle might be another example, but that's actually almost too complex again. But really the hard part in riding a bicycle, once you've learned it, is not, you know, like, you do not at all in general think about keeping balance anymore. You know, unless you're, like, taking a really tight turn or doing something else that is unusual, but, like, on your bike ride to work or something, most of the actual bike riding is automatic, and what you're paying attention to is, you know, traffic, street signs, the lights, things like that, and that's, but the actual bike riding is something that you do so often and so much that, you know, like, if you want to slow down, there's just one hand that you contract. It's not you thinking, okay, which one was the front and which one was the back brake. Okay, I'll brake with the back brake first, because that way my bicycle won't go back over front, but actually will still have stability. That's all stuff you learned ages ago, and that you probably don't even have to think about anymore, because you did it so much.
So many voices to listen to. It must make your head hurt. I promise my voice will be soft and soothing.
A soft voice, like Alara's. It's been so long. Years. Yes. Yes, I will listen.
That's better. Now tell me, what's troubling you?
Spirits of the forgotten. Souls cursed by the All-Mother. Their voices never let me be. They want me to do things. Hurt people. If I go back to the Nora, they might make me hurt Alara. And I'll kill myself before I let that happen.
Do you have to listen to the spirits, Brom?
They're speaking to me right now. Oh is with me. They take care of me. Keep me company. Help me. Except when they scream. Like when that hunter knocked me down. Crush his skull with the rock, they said. And I did.
Brom, you're alive. Oh, Mother be praised. I'm sorry I followed you, but I had to make sure he was all right.
No. Please, sister, I can't protect you.
I need no protection from you, Brom.
He fears these spirits that he hears will turn him against you. Unless your voice can quiet them?
Yes, just as it was before. He only ever hurt someone once, and it was provoked.
I don't want to hurt you. But the Forgotten, their whispers, they fill my head with screams.
Brahm isn't ready to return to the Nora. But I don't think he'll hurt you, Alara.
There's a place where I can stay. A cave on All Mother Mountain. I suppose you could visit me there, so long as I'm strong.
You will be, Brom. I'll help you. Thank you, Aloy. I'll take care of him now. May you walk in All Mother's eternal memory, and may the Forgotten leave you be.
I mean, this is kind of a very dramatized version of, you know, of, whatchamacallit, of a psychic illness of someone hearing voices. But, you know, it does ring true to what I've encountered so far. It's just, you know, like, it's, you know, there's usually people who hear voices with them, it's not that, I wonder if I can just run through here. Let's try it. I should just be
Sammy.
running away.
There we go.
I guess I can't quite just run through, but maybe it'll be enough. Okay. So let's do a quick save and then see. Oh, I knew there was a red light somewhere off screen.
Business.
Okay, that worked. Thank God my aim has improved since I originally played this. Like the under stress panic aim, like apparently it does improve a little bit. Well, anyway. So where was I? Yeah, like hearing voices, people who do that. Like I met a person who basically would sit in a cafe all day.
Access comes by.
And would just laugh to himself because his voices were quote unquote telling him jokes. It's not really how voices work. Like
They're scanning for me.
now keep in mind I'm not like a psychologist or something. I just did social service in a place which had lots of people mostly suffering from schizophrenia, which is like seem to include mostly manic depression and yeah, hearing voices, that kind of thing, and having other like sensual perceptions that yeah, weren't real, basically. Like also like body perception issues, I guess is what you'd call them.
That's it. I'm already gone. Grata may be devout, but it takes strong arms to reach the Overlook the fast way.
Yeah, and psst. Okay. What was I about to say? Yeah, so if for example, if you dream, then you do not actually hear people say most of the phrases, or actually have like an entire room that you are visually seeing, but actually it like works one level below that, where it actually just injects into your brain, you are seeing a beautiful room right now or something. So dreams can cheat a lot, and they can, they can change on a dime, and they can be very inconsistent. They can see like it's a tiny room, and then they can say it you stretch out your arms and turn around and do not touch a wall or whatever, like, because it doesn't have to be consistent. Your dreams just tell you what to believe, basically. And since your critical thinking is basically turned off while you sleep, you don't really, you can't really tell. But so that means, like, if you have a great idea in a dream, often your dream just tells you, you just had a great idea about that problem that you had. It doesn't necessarily actually, there isn't necessarily an actual idea.
Safe. For a few minutes, anyway.
Is the climby bit here, I guess? Yeah, okay. And it's kind of like that with voices, as far as I understand it. At least that's the analogy I built for myself as someone who doesn't actually hear voices. That they don't necessarily tell you a joke, but they just
trying to wash everything away.
But you just hear a voice, and your head tells you, well, that was funny, So it's not as if, that person that I met could have, like, told you the joke and you would have gotten it. No! I think that happened to me the first time. That must be a kind of slightly too small hotspot. I guess I'm one level up at least. Can I go up there? Okay, I guess I have to drop down again. Left a little bit, and then back here. And so, most voices that people hear are not that dramatic, and many people can just live with the voices they hear. Okay. But then again, other people, when you notice is usually a moment like when Brom, like that moment Brom had, where it was basically affecting his day-to-day life. Oh wait, that's where we came from. That's where we came from, right? Oh, right, but we have a slidey thing here. Okay. Okay, and so that means if and then like they hear the voices, and sometimes they can feel, like if someone every day tells you, you're a moron, you're a moron, you will kind of start to get used to it and believe it, like if everyone tells it you. It's the same thing as, uh, why, like politically the left and the right, there are many people who, like just totally can't agree because like their whole world was spent in a circle of people who either had very right-wing or very left-wing opinions, or at least dominantly or whatever, and that was the things everyone said and everyone repeated, and after a while you kind of tend to, like, the facts and the stories you hear influence your picture of the world. And then when someone else comes to you and tells you it's totally different, you're kind of inclined to say, well, 500 people all my life long have told me it's this way, and this one person, well, that must be an outlier, and so you ignore it. And that's why then, like they have problem agreeing, because they just don't mingle enough to get like a, well, I don't want to see balanced view, but like to get the whole picture at least. I'm not trying to take sides here right now, because this is not a politics stream.
Aha! Grata's prayer beads. I see why she comes up here to pray. It looks out to Mother's Gate. I wonder what bothers me more. That she ignores me, or that with all her talking to All Mother, she's never lonely.
Anyway, what I really meant to say was, that, yeah, so that's kind of how voices can influence you, it's like a healthy reaction to one tiny unhealthy thing in your brain, is that like if and that seems to be like how schizophrenia, again, I haven't actually studied anything about this or read that much, it's just like what I've kind of deduced casually. Let me just check. Okay, meet Rost at the North Gate. No, we need to talk to Odd Grata first. Oh, we can actually do the potions pouch upgrade. Oh, we can actually do potions or traps. Modifications or resources would work as well. Okay, let's do the potions pouch first. I guess now we're out of metal shards again. Okay. But anyway, so let's go to Grata's camp then, wherever that is. So yeah, like my impression of most of the symptoms of schizophrenia was that they revolve around people's thoughts going in circles, like what normal people get when they're tired. You get something that we call like being depressed, and for example, depression is that your problems just keep going round and round in your head, and similarly these voices kind of keep going around in your head as well. So that seems to be kind of a thing they have in common. Oh, there you are. actually worked. Well, anyway, and so Brom kind of seemed to have that aspect, and so that's what I really liked. Why are you following me?
Sorry to spoil your fun.
Okay. Guess before you attack me, I had to do that. Sorry. Another one. Oh, that's a watcher. Okay. But we really need to get to Grata and finish the stream for today now. So, let's just get going. And anyway, so I left this mission for that aspect, that it did some of the things right. Of course, it took like the most dramatic thing where someone actually killed someone, and of course it has the added sadness of nobody here. You know, psychology doesn't exist in this world, so nobody knows like what it is that he is experiencing. They don't know that it's, you know, like a chemical imbalance caused by, I don't know, genetic predisposition and maybe an external trigger. Things like that. Many of the stories in this game kind of work well on me for reasons like that. That there's a kernel of truth. Then there's this world that is in some ways, you know, our world before, or certain people in our world, you know, behaviors that they exhibit, just generalized, things like that. So, it's interesting. And of course, it's kind of also sort of a pseudo-historical study, you know, because, you know, like, tribes actually used to live kind of like that, and it's a nice way to explore that with
There's
a
Grata.
sympathetic
All with All-Mother.
protagonist.
The only way she knows. Good news, Grata. Once again, All-Mother has brought you rabbits. I found your prayer beads too. Just try not to lose them again.
All-Mother. Each morning I find your tears of joy speckling the leaves. Joy at the beauty of all you have made. See how I cry now with you in gratitude.
So you'll cry for her, but you won't speak to me. Fine. Guess that makes you the better outcast. Grata, I may not be around much for a while. I'm gonna run in the proving, and I'm not sure what's gonna happen after that.
All-Mother, I thank you for the kindnesses you share. When the proving comes, in your great wisdom, may you give favor to a brave of generous heart.
I think I get what you're saying. Goodbye, Grata. For now.
All-Mother, hear me as I count off my years of devotion from these beads.
It's
Let me whisper to you. As your
interesting, you know,
soothing
that she
whisper
kind of
comes in the
sticks to the
hushing of
word
grass.
of the rules, but sort of not the intent.
See how the beads have
It's
been
also
worn
interesting
smooth
how
in the
dense Aloy kind of seems to say, well,
I prayed for my elders, but now they are old.
you know,
as I
to just,
am.
yeah, all the things she said here are basically meant for Aloy, but just addressed via the All-Mother, and I think that's a clever compromise. Of course, it's not a good conversation, but at least it's better than nothing. And interesting, so she's an outcast too, and technically, apparently, outcasts are not supposed to talk to each other? but I guess all the outcasts talk to each other because, heck, I'm outcast already. Not quite sure about that aspect of the lore. Okay, so let's see. So our next mission is meeting Rost at the North Gate, and I think we've done everything. Oh, we haven't done the Tripcaster tutorial yet. Trip machines with shock wires. Okay, so I guess we'll have to do that one. So let's find us some nice machines. And try out our Tripcaster for the extra XP. Like in general, if you want to play this game, I don't know, I think you've seen a bunch already. Like to be able to tell whether the general gameplay is down your alley, but maybe it's still not, you know, you're still not 100% sure. Wait, I didn't want to do that. Stand there and wave at them. Hey! Maybe reload our arrows. Hello. Come here. I have a tripwire for you.
Past them.
Okay, one. Oh, actually jump.
Just stay out of their way for now.
Two. Okay. Now the problem, of course, is well, it's not a problem. But now, can I get someone to come over here? See me?
Clever.
Here. Why is it going away? Ah, come on. Get you into my tripwire. Come on. Let's collect that rock again.
I can get out of this.
Come here. Yes, yes. See me. Just this, I guess. One of you must be able to run into this, right? Come on. Yes. Oops. Okay, not 100% successful, but at least we did it and we got the XP. Good. So, I think what we'll do now is we'll let Ross tell us what we're supposed to do, and then we can actually do it tomorrow. And I think that's a good part, a good point at which then we can finish our stream. Oh wait, I have a level, so we can probably pick some skills as well. Okay, forager. Herbalist doubles the capacity of the medicine pouch. Scavenger, chance for extra resources when looting down machines. Let's go medicine pouch first, because that's always useful.
Well, they're still surprised.
Isn't that good. Someone with good aim would have probably gotten those. Oh, might have pissed someone off here. Oops. Bunch of resources that will probably come in handy. And I guess they're running away, that's good as well, as long as they
You'll do.
don't go chasing after me. Let's go back that way. Gather some more medicinal plants and let Ross tell us what to do. And
Whatever they're hunting out there doesn't sound easy.
Fox. Okay. Whatever they're hunting out there, doesn't sound easy. Indeed, there seems to be a lot of noise out there. Foxbone, yay. Okay, so let us head forward then. This is where we get told what to do.
You have the fire arrows.
I do. Those explosions and shouts beyond the embrace. Is that the trouble you were talking about?
You will know soon enough. Until then, we wait for dark.
Wait for dark? I saw Karst and got that tripcaster I was talking about.
I hate to think what that outlawed trader charged for a weapon of that make.
It wasn't cheap, but the caster is worth it.
Well, perhaps. You'll know it's worth soon enough.
I got Odd-Grata her rabbits, for which she thanked All-Mother, of course.
It was All-Mother working through you to bring her the rabbits.
You always say that, but I was there and I hunted alone.
And you always say that, and so make yourself alone.
Look, Rost. I've thought it through, and I'm not going to shun you after the proving, okay? I won't do it. I'm not about to pretend that you never raised me.
Aloy, the law forbids all contact.
It does, and I don't care. I know what duty means for you, Rost, but all tribal law has ever done for me is take things away. And that's not gonna happen again.
Aloy, I must obey the law.
And so you will. I knew you'd say that, so this is what we'll do. I'll come to you in secret. No one will see me, so I won't get in trouble. And I know you won't talk to me because it's against the law, but I'll talk to you. It'll be my crime, not yours. You'll just listen. And that's how we'll handle this.
You've put a lot of thought into this.
I know. So you can stop worrying. It's handled.
Yes. So it is.
I don't understand. Those explosions are outside the embrace. What can we do from in here?
The lesson will be taught in due time, Aloy. Until then, we wait.
Still a while to go before dark. I guess I'll get some rest.
Good idea. There'll be no time for sleep tonight.
Okay, so let's rest at the campfire. Find out what we're gonna do.
Opening a gate for an outcast?
Some who are shunned reaped honor before disgrace.
So much for tribal law.
I spoke to no one, and now we must both keep silent, for we are outside of the embrace. These are the true wilds, Aloy, with threats unlike any you have ever faced.
That carcass. What sort of beast was that?
The tribe calls it a sawtooth, and it's something new. Something angry. Since they first started appearing 10 years ago, they have killed many braves.
Yeah.
Okay. And thank you for watching. This is where we will stop for today. And we'll hopefully continue tomorrow. Well, Monday actually. Tomorrow is weekend. I won't be streaming. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And this will actually be our first bigger battle, which, if you're still thinking whether this game is something you would want to play, that might give you a good idea of how the bigger battles work. But it's still early on. So if you would like to stay for a second, I'll just go check if there is anyone streaming that I if there's anyone streaming that I can raid, and then you could come along and maybe discover a new streamer, or maybe get to a streamer. Oh, it's easy. So I guess we'll raid FG. And we will see. Did that work? No, it didn't. Maybe I mistyped. It says I already have a raid in progress. For some reason it's not showing it to me.